Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Inanna Rising Full Moon Ritual for October. Let me move this a little bit so you can see some of my goodies back here. Okay, so I've got my beautiful priestess Rachel here tonight with me. So if you see me looking over there and talking with her, that's who I am conversing with. And I'm just kind of like, she told me that she's like, you seem like you've had
20 cups of espresso.
20 cups of espresso. And I am, if you know me, I'm not a coffee drinker. I love the taste of coffee, but it makes me feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. So I don't love drinking it hardly ever. But so I've not had coffee, but I am so like buzzed with just the spirit of the full moon and this Medusa Gorgon that we are going to be working with her energy tonight. So welcome. If you are here live, welcome. And if you are watching this afterward, welcome. I'm so glad that you're joining. And I'm so happy that you are going to be taking part in this conscious, active, purposeful transformation in your life that working with Medusa is going to bring to us. Now, I'm really glad that the Medusa energy is this snake energy because that's very grounding, and I super need grounding right now because I really am like, I feel like I'm going to float right out of my body. I just feel so just exuberant is a good word. Okay, so let's just peel back the layers for a second and talk about what tonight is going to be about. This is the full moon in Aries. Aries, of course, if you know anything about astrology, it's the first sign in the zodiac. And it is the sign of really like making your own stamp in the world. It's really, Aries is great about knowing boundaries, about this is me, this is who I am. It's that whole kind of I am mentality. And then we have just gone through a few planets have been in retrograde. And I think the one that gets the most press is a Mercury retrograde. And that might be why you have been feeling wonderful over the past few weeks. I said, how was your week? She's like, my month. And then you were saying that you were afraid of what this was going to be like tonight because the last few have been so powerful, the goddesses. And she will be powerful, but Medusa is not a goddess. We'll talk about that in a second. But this retrograde, so the Mercury retrograde, I just want to say, because the retrogrades get a lot of bad press. They get a bad rap. And I've had retrogrades where I've felt like I was not going to make it out alive on the other side of it. So I get that for sure. But the retrogrades are a perfect way for us to, what happens during a retrograde is all the planets are in this like forward cyclical motion, right? In their own orbit. They're all like constantly moving. And when a planet, for whatever reason, it slows down in its movement, they never stop all the way. They never go backwards. But it feels to us like it's a backwards momentum, like kind of like, I don't know. I had a brother when I was a little girl who ran through a glass door, like, and just like, boom, stopped. And it crackled and he like fell on the ground, like what? Because he thought that there was no door there. So the retrograde can kind of make us feel like that. We're just going in this forward motion. And then all of a sudden slam, we're like, feel like we're just being yanked back. But that's not always a bad thing. If you think about little tiny kids when they're just learning to walk and then they get tall enough to just reach the corner of like my piano there or the table and they keep bonking their heads. Have you ever seen that with little kids and like, you know, they'll get little bruises all over their heads. And so as parents or caretakers, we're constantly like trying to walk in front of them and we grab them really quick. So oftentimes like I just can imagine that, you know, having had 4 toddlers myself, and lots of little brothers. All the different times that I would see them like headed towards something they were not going to be happy about, and I'd have to kind of yank them back. So the retrogrades are kind of spirit's way, God's way, energy's way, goddess way, whatever you want to say, of yanking us back really quick to help us just take another look, a bigger perspective. Let's widen the focus here and just, are we headed in exactly where we want to be headed? Is this the right direction? So we are done with that retrograde now. It ended, I think, yesterday or the day before. And we're just in the shadow work part of it, which is kind of like in the aftermath, kind of like after an earthquake, there's little, what are those called? Aftershocks. Yep. Been out of California almost a year and I forgot what they're called. Aftershocks. So anyway, so just hold on tight. If you've had a rough few weeks, that could be why. And just know things are going to be looking better and moving more forward. Okay. So tonight, under this full moon, we are going to be working with the Gorgon called Medusa. Medusa is not a goddess, although she, in her Greek mythology, because the most that we know about her comes from Greek mythology, although her origins are probably not Greek, and we will get into that as well. She was born from two water gods, a goddess and a god, and I believe it was Sado, and I forget the father's name. But so in that way, she is kind of like a goddess. But you know how Poseidon had all kinds of, like, he was the father of the Cyclops and like different monsters. So those are not necessarily gods or goddesses. And I think, to me, the gods and goddesses are beings that can create. They're like creator beings. So Medusa, although she did have two children, they were not gods and goddesses either. One of those was a Pegasus, and the other, I forget what the other one was, but they were both like beast type things. Okay. Even though she was said to have been a mortal in a lot of the tales about her. She's one of three sisters, Gorgon sisters, and they were very fearsome. In a lot of the tales, they are portrayed as extremely foreboding, forbidding, ugly, terrifying. But she has also equally been called many times beautiful. She was also known as being incredibly beautiful. In fact, in one tale in Greek mythology, and this comes a little later in the Greek mythology, and I believe, I forgot his name. He was a Roman historian. And he wasn't, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. He wasn't a huge fan of the Greek gods. So, but in this story that he tells, he says that Athena, in her temple, Medusa was one of her priestesses, and Medusa's beauty was rivaled only by Athena's, or Athena's beauty was rivaled only by Medusa's. And so this historian says that Athena was like jealous, and which doesn't make a lot of sense, because compared to all of the other stories of Athena, she was the most level-headed of all the gods and goddesses for the most part in that pantheon. So it doesn't really correlate with her personality in previous tales. But it's said that Poseidon looked on Medusa and decided that he wanted her. He ended up, I don't know if like what words I'm allowed to say on YouTube, but he ended up, what's the word? Defiling her against her will. And that's, he impregnated her with the Pegasus and the other child beast she had. But anyway, she was just horrified about it and very upset about it, and went to Athena for help. And this story says that Athena cursed her with she turned her beautiful long locks into these snakes, and she cursed her so that no man would ever look upon her again because she was jealous. And but that probably is not the original story. The original story, if at all, probably has something more to do with Athena protecting, knowing that, okay, I can't be with you, always protecting you from this god or this whoever, Medusa. So I'm going to give you these powers so that you can protect yourself. So in that way, it's more of an empowering story rather than a story of just her being a victim of circumstance and victim shamed, And I love that there are so many facets to Medusa, because we do see her as, in some of the stories, as that victim. We see her in some stories, she's called immortal. The three of them, she and her two sisters, she's the only one who has been referred to as immortal. Now, whether that means she looked, more human-like, or that she actually had a lifespan that was different than the beasts or monsters or gods, goddesses, we don't know. But so that's very interesting about her. She ended up becoming an icon, and all the Gorgons did, but they kind of all morphed at one point into just Medusa. So she was used on the front of shields for in battle. She was known as a protector of all, and now specifically of women and children. She is the archetype of transformation because she is so associated with snakes, because it's said that her hair was, each strand of hair was like snakes. I love that, because if you've never worked with snake medicine, and when I say medicine, I mean like as in like animal totems, basically. So a snake animal totem, it is powerfully transformative. Snakes, they shed their skin at least 3 times a year for the most part, and some of them much more than that. I didn't really know that until a few years ago. I thought that happened like maybe when they went from baby to teenage, and then from their teenage skin to their, grown-up skin. I didn't know that that was something that occurred all the time for them. And so with the energy of Medusa that we're going to be working with tonight, we're going to really look at how we can use that energy to transform and shed the old things that maybe we want to get rid of in our lives. Like what have we outgrown in so many ways? With the help of my Virgo gorgeous goddess friend over here, a few months ago, because she's very good about getting rid of things that don't resonate with her anymore in her closet and around her home. And so one day, I don't know what happened, but I was in my closet and I was picking out some things, and I just was like, why do I still have this in here? I don't even want this. And next thing I knew, I had like 50 things out of my closet, and I called her almost in tears, like, I don't even want anything in here. I don't know what I'm doing. And anyway, she came over with some chocolate and we ended up just like tearing my closet apart, which has been so like liberating, in such little ways we can shed things. And tonight we're going to, it could be that you need to, I don't know, reorganize a closet. It could be something such as that. But it could be that you need to reorganize aspects of your life. It could be that you need to step forward into a brand new version of yourself. And this is the perfect time to do that because, and hi, Sandeep, I just saw that you said hello on the live chat. So I'm so happy you're here. He's here from India. I love that. And I just have to say really quick, because I'm such a fan of his work. He has a beautiful book. It's called Roots, Health, and happiness, I believe. And Sandy, if you can put the name of it in the chat if you get a chance, you can get it on Amazon, and it's incredible, just absolutely incredible. He's just an amazing guru. But anyway, so maybe you have something in your life that you are ready to just go, okay, this needs to be done. I need to let go of this so that I can step into this greater, bigger, more perfected version of myself. I have people calling me right now. Okay. So let's get started. Let's do this. One more thing about Medusa that I think is, to me, the most important thing. Yeah. Okay. I see, Sandy. Tracing the roots of health and happiness. Nice. I have that book. I love it. I've read through it, and I'm going to probably start a second read on it. There's just so much information about, just your body and health and how to, you should get that book. Actually, you would love it. Okay. See, I told you guys I'm so tonight, so excited for this energy. Okay. So the most important part to me about a Medusa, because I was really trying to figure out, where did she originate from? Where does she come from? Is she Greek? Because nothing about her, even in the Greek stories, aside from the fact, or from her birth origins possibly being from these Greek ocean gods and goddess. But I wanted to know if there was anything before that. And so we do see some of that. And there's an ancient historian, Herodotus. He suggests that Medusa originated in Libya, which is in North Africa. And then I kind of went down a rabbit hole there and saw that there is a whole school of thought that Medusa and that whole Gorgon mask, that could have originated from Africa, from these masks that we see when they're doing their ceremonies. And that just made so much sense to me. And that her snake-like hair could have been the dreadlocks that were very popular at that time in that region of Africa. So to me, Medusa is something that just transcends any kind of culture, really, or any kind of, it's not necessarily even female. It's not male. It's not female. It's not, it's not Greek. It's not even entirely African, but it's just, it's earthy. It's of the earth. And if you got your oil, which let's go ahead and anoint right now. Go ahead and get your oil out. If you don't have this, that's okay. You don't need to anoint, but it's always a good idea once you're going to start a ceremony to dedicate yourself and anoint yourself. And we've got in this oil, oh my gosh, it smells so good. It's, there are a lot of sugary or caramel tones to it, but there's a really beautiful earthiness to it. I kind of, it's like walking through a forest and smelling that earth, but then eating a caramel apple pie while you're doing that. It smells amazing. But anyway, go ahead and anoint. I usually do my third eye. I do my heart. And put some on your wrists. Put some even on my feet. I'm sitting kind of crisscross applesauce right now, just because it feels good. Do that. So we're just kind of letting our system know that we are about to go into, we're about to go into ritual here. And I've got my apple cider I'll be sipping on here and there. I love Jessica said, Jessica 119. It's a male's perspective on history. Let's be real. And yes, that's true. That's very true. So, one thing I wanted to just touch on, because I thought, as I was trying to peel back the layers of who in the world is Medusa, and is there what is the truth there? Is the whole thing about her just a made up story and a myth? And if any of you know the German archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann, okay, and this was in 1870, where he discovered the city of Troy in part of Turkey. That whole idea and story of Troy and the war that was lost in the Trojan War and all that was considered 100% a myth. Like the entire city, no one thought the city was a real place. And he decided to follow the writings, the Iliad and Odyssey, and see, like, well, what if I take this literally and like kind of navigate my way through the regions that are being described in the book, and where would I end up, and what if there is a real city there? Anyway, so he did that and discovered a real city there. So it makes me wonder, a lot of these things that we read from ancient myths, of course, a lot of them have to be dramatized, I believe, but also how many of them are I don't know, true in some way, and what parts of those are true. Anyway, so tonight we're just gonna go with it. Medusa's real tonight. Her energy is real. You can feel it. All right, let's go ahead and we are going to sage. If you got your kit, you got a bundle of sage. You can peel off a leaf. Do that with me, or you can light your whole bundle. But I don't feel like that's really necessary to do. You can just light one leaf. Little goes a long way. There's some for you. We're just going to be clearing the space here. I always say that white sage, or any sage really, the blue sage as well, it's kind of like an energetic vacuum. It just comes in and just vacuums up all the energy around, which is great. But now we have kind of open energy, open space here. So we want to set an intention now. So let's just do that. And you can set your own intention as well. So now that we have this open space, I'm going to go ahead and just set the intention that this ritual under this Aries full moon will be one of powerful, positive transformation, enlightenment, health, wellness, joy, beauty, prosperity, shedding of old layers that no longer serve us, and welcoming in new, greater versions of ourselves. And we ask that that our higher selves be present, and that all those who are here, whether that's ancestors, God, Goddess, any energies that are here for our greatest, highest, most wonderful good, to be present. And so it is. And again, if you have any intentions you want to add to that, go right ahead. And let's go ahead and then light our candle. You need to light yours too. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in our candle, love, love, love. Oh my gosh, same scent as the oil for the most part. Here, go ahead. And we've got some sage in it. And then you'll see there are serpentine crystals in it. You can pull those crystals out if you want to hold them. You have 2 of them in your candle. You may want to hold them during the meditation, but you don't have to. You can leave them there. That's fine too. And then we've got little putka pods in there, which look like little tiny pumpkins, but they're not. They're seeds from a tree. The information is all in your ritual scrolls, but they call it like one of the names for it is a cheese tree. And these are the little seeds that drop from it that birds eat. And when they dry, they look like little pumpkins. And I just love them. And they carry the energy and spirit of gathering, and again of protection, because that tree is protection for all those little birds that come to it. And of course, Medusa is this being of total protection. So we are working with that energy tonight. And then we're going to have, if you got your kit, you have your shaker, your Kundalini shaker. We'll talk about that when the time comes. But if you want to, go ahead and just rattle it around for a minute. Any kind of sound, and I love this one too, if I want to bring in, this is all naturally fallen, just so you know. Any of that real earthy energy, that reptilian type energy, I always use my turtle shell. Love that. But the shaker will have that same energy as well. So if you want to just kind of like move that energy around you. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to set up a circle of protection for this. And I usually explain a lot more about that, but I think I'm not going to do that tonight. We're just going to go with it tonight. Okay. So just bear with me. Imagine, if you will, a circle of white light just forming around you. This could look like a beautiful spiral coming up from the earth of white, gorgeous light. And it's coming in a clockwise motion. And it's creating a wonderful dome of light all around you. And you can extend that out as far as you would like. If you want it to expand through the whole room, if you want it to expand through your whole home, through your neighborhood, to individual family members who might not be near you, go ahead and do that. So see that now opening up, and our circle is set. And we are going to go ahead and call in. We're going to call in the directions. And this is one of my absolute favorite parts of ritual, because you can really feel as each direction comes in and holds that space of protection. It just magnifies the energy. So anything that you are going to be, any intention that you have that you want to bring in to your experience and into your life, it's a perfect time to hold that now, because it will be magnified. Any stress you might be feeling, anxiety that you've had throughout the day or weeks or month, or whatever your experience has been lately, if you've had poor health, if you've had any kind of issues like that, go ahead and just, if you want to pick those things back up later and bring them back to you, you can. But for now, just kind of set them outside of that circle. Just set them down. They'll be there waiting for you if you want them. If you don't want them, you can leave them there. But go ahead and just for now, we're going to just peel those burdens off of our shoulders. Just set them outside the circle. We don't need to worry about that right now. This is our time. This is sacred space. So we are holding this now. Let me turn this down a little bit. And I know that before, when I played the drum, sometimes it distorts. So I'm not going to play it too much, but we will use it to call in our directions. So go ahead, and if you are in a space where you can lie down, you can lie down. If that feels good to you, you can sit up, but try and just let your breath be deep but gentle. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And I usually like the first 3 of those breaths to be nice and deep. And just when you blow them out of your mouth, let it be heard. Make a sound. It's totally fine. And just go with it. Close your eyes and see if you can feel the different energies coming in as protection. Okay. I call to the direction of the east element of air. This is the energy of inspiration to begin anew. New ideas, sparks of inspiration, the energy of conception and new beginnings. Please be here as our protectors and guides. I call to the direction of the south element of fire and the energy of snake we are working with tonight. This is the passion that drives us to create, to dream, to desire, and to achieve This is the energy of creation. Please be here as our protectors and our guides, and so it is. And I call to the direction of the west element of water, the divine feminine, the universal womb that holds our creations until fruition. This is the energy of healing, of intuition, and listening to our inner guidance and trusting that inner guidance. This is the energy of completion. Please be here as our protectors and our guides, and so it is. And I call to the direction of the north, the element of earth. This is the energy of our ancestors, the bones that make up the foundation upon which we stand. This is the steadfastness and resilience that reminds us we are worthy of our goals and that our goals are attainable. We are supported, and all we have is all we need. This is the energy of fruition and manifestation. Please be here as our protectors and our guides, and so it is. And now I call to the direction of spirit, the element of ether. This is the energy of divinity, the divinity that resides in the seats of our soul. This is our higher selves, our subconscious and conscious merging as one. This is the resurrection of all the lost or broken parts of ourselves. This is the energy of all possibility and of our own divinity. Please be here as our protectors and our guides, and so it is. And I call to the angels, the spirit guides and guardians of the highest realms of light, and to the goddess and God. Please bless, heal, nurture, sustain, renew, revitalize, and replenish us as we bask in the energy of this full moon. Assist us in opening up to greater possibilities and potential, and to the lessons our soul would like us to master. Please be here now, and so it is. Amen, aho, and so it is. How do you feel? Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Keep taking sips of your drink. Gotta stay grounded. Just a second. I'm so happy right now. It feels so good. Woo! All right. Let's talk for a second about Kundalini, because I think this is really important as we are working with this snake energy. It is said that at the base of our spine, that there is a coiled up energy like a snake, and that it sits there. It's kind of dormant, latent. And my goodness, I wish Sandeep was here live with me to talk about this. I'm sure he could tell us lots about this. But when it's activated, it will shoot up through your entire chakra system and up through your crown, and it will connect you with your higher self. It connects you with spirit, connects you with God, the all God, goddess, whatever you want to call it, the source of where you came from. Now, I don't know if any of you watching now and those who will be watching later, if any of you have had a Kundalini awakening or activation. I know many people who have, but there are many, many who have not. And there are lots of different ways to work with that energy, with the Kundalini, to activate it. One of the, I think, strongest ways is when you basically merge with someone that you love or that spiritual, it's like a spiritual sexual union, basically. But you can also experience that with spirit. It doesn't need to be with another person. And when you have that Kundalini awakening, all I can tell you is that your entire being like lights up. It's as if there's like a sun or a star or some kind of bright light in the center of your being, and it's just shooting out. I mean, in the few that I've had, especially the very first one that I had was so shocking, really. But I was giant. I was aware of how big my energy was, and it was blue. It was this like I was a star. I could just like feel it and see it in that moment. One tiny little moment, I knew everything. There was no mystery. There was no I was the cosmos, and yet I was this tiny little self on this earth too, you know. But I was also the entire earth, and even bigger. I was the galaxy. I was the everything. I all in one. And then I was also teeny teeny tiny. So it just it's a beautiful way to get in touch with who you really, really are and pull you out of the mundane, everyday worry that we have just from being on this planet and in the systems that we're in, whether that's just worrying about putting food on the table or a car that's breaking down or getting a new job or, you know, whatever, the shower's leaking, like those little things that end up just taking over our entire lives, but in the whole scheme of things are the most unimportant things we could possibly be wasting our time on while we're here in these bodies on this earth. And so my intent with the shaker for you is that when you shake it up, when you're going to be, and there's directions in your scrolls for this. So I would suggest to use it daily. As I was painting it and creating it, I was putting in intentions into it that you're just like there's a spiral around it, that Kundalini for you will be able to, that the way will be made clear for that Kundalini to be able to rise for you so that you can have your own experiences of awakening, of enlightenment, of knowing yourself and your spirit in such a way that you will never doubt your divinity ever again. And I am also hoping and intending that your Kundalini awakening is a lot more gentle than my you were. Lismar3 says, "Yay, I made it." And I don't know who is that, Lismar. Tell me your name, your real name in there, because I only see your YouTube name. But welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Okay, so let me get another little drink really quick. How are you feeling? You look like the most grounded person I've ever seen in my life, like a statue over there. You good?
Polar opposite of what you are right now.
I
right?
know. I'm like gonna fly away, you guys. I don't. Okay. I've been on this energy all day, though. You ever have that where you feel like so light that you're like, I don't know, you just start fluttering around and you feel like I could just like start flying right now if I run fast enough. That's how I feel. I feel so good. Okay. But I do feel grounded too. Okay. So Kundalini kind of got a little bit of a grip on that. You want to, there are lots of different exercises you can do to move that energy up along your spine. But if you are not meditating every day, if you are not creating and carving out a space every single day for your own spiritual practice, that could be just as tiny as a 2-minute meditation and setting your intention for the day while lighting a candle and then blowing it out and saying it's done. I mean, it can be something that's less than 5 minutes, but dedicate it to yourself. You are worth that. Everything else is taking our attention, all day long. It's so important that we carve out those moments just to gather ourselves and then purposefully create a path forward for the life that we are trying to create here in our dharma, our work, our life's work. It's like, how many of us are in touch with that? Do you know why you came here? Do you know why you were born? It's not just because your parents, had a happy night one night. There's so much more to it than that. And hopefully you already know that. Okay. Let's do our mirror meditation. You ready? Okay, so we are going to be working with a mirror. We're going to be doing something called scrying. Do you know what scrying is, Rachel?
I do.
Do you?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about scrying.
It's divination.
It's a form of divination. Yeah, it's like an ancient divination. And that's just like in a nutshell. But so scrying, it's SCRYING, to scry. It is basically daydreaming. So if you were one of those kids like I was that, had those really high windows in the classrooms, they had those like ones near the top of the ceiling, and you started seeing clouds going by, and you just like, my teachers would have to tell me all the time, stop daydreaming. And I didn't even know what that meant. I was like in first grade. I should have said, will you leave me alone? I'm having a spiritual experience right now. I don't care about the math. But I would just look at the clouds, and little kids are the best at this. They see, sometimes when I'm driving with my kids, I have to lower my voice because they're here. And my 13-year-old, he's so good at scrying and seeing things in the clouds all the time. I mean, he sees elaborate things like, oh my gosh, do you see that dragon? And oh, look at, there's a medieval knight over there by the dragon. It's this and that and da da da. Oh, you see that castle and there's the river. Like, it's an entire world. And I have to lie and say, I see it, because I don't. But I feel bad, and I don't want him to feel bad that he's seeing things I can't see.
I literally just did that. Did you? 2 days ago? I was watching the sunrise, and I was like, oh, it's a depressed crocodile, because it looked like a crocodile with this little cloud above it, so it looked like a little rain cloud following the crocodile. I literally did that 2 days ago.
That's beautiful. See? And you can do it in a candle flame. That's a beautiful way to scry. Do you ever? One of my favorite things growing up was when my dad would light a fire in the fireplace, and it's always around like Christmas time. That's when we would do it, because we lived in California and it was never cold, but we would always have a fire at Christmas. And I would just get mesmerized. I mean, my eyes would just like, I would like get hypnotized looking at the fire, and I just couldn't. People would say, they'd come in the room, hey, do you want it? And I would like answer them, as I'm staring into because I could not look away. And you start seeing things and images coming up into the fire. And I wish that I had known back then that was a thing, and that had meaning and could hold actually spiritual meaning for you in your life. It's a beautiful way for the subconscious to put forward images and pictures so that your conscious can see it and make sense of it. Okay. So it's really when you're scrying, it's a talk with spirit, but it's a talk with your higher self and your subconscious. So, and you can scry in, oh my gosh, you could use a mirror like we're going to do. You could do fire. You could get a bowl of water or just sit at the lake or even at the beach as you're looking at the waves. It's kind of like you got to let yourself, your gaze needs to just go soft, and you just breathe gently, and you just start seeing, what it is that spirit's trying to communicate with you. Okay. And then it's great to write that stuff down. Why did you see a depressed crocodile, Rachel? Write that stuff down so that you can go back and look at it and try and make some sense of it. Because oftentimes you'll see colors will come to your mind, or a specific number might be meaningful later on. Spirit, and specifically the feminine aspect, which is the creator aspect, that womb energy where all possibility is resides. That aspect speaks to us in symbols and signs and parables and stories. And usually, even if you hear one word in your mind, or one phrase comes to your mind, I mean, that one phrase could, they say a picture paints 1,000 words. You can have that experience with just one word that could come to you. If you just start thinking and dwelling on it, and just, what else can I learn from this? More and more and more will unfold for you. Okay, so we're going to use our mirror. If you didn't get the kit and you don't have your mirror, that's okay. Go grab any mirror. I mean, honestly, it could any little tiny mirror, or a piece of foil if you have foil in your house, glass, anything you can see your reflection in. If you have a compact, or even like a powder, or eyeshadow palette that has a mirror on it, go grab that. So you want to have your mirror. I think it's a great idea. We've got our serpentine crystals here. And that serpentine is another really great for the Kundalini. It's going to be really good for your whole nervous system. That snake energy has to do with anything of the spine, right? Your entire nervous system helps to calm anxiety. I was having anxiety earlier today for whatever. It just was like there. And I called my friend and I was like, hey, can you send me Reiki? I'm having anxiety. He was like, why are you having anxiety? What are you having anxiety for? And I was like, I'm stepping into so many new things and new energies, and it's perfect. It's what I'm supposed to be doing. But I think the human part of me, my body, is just like, what are we doing? Is this okay? You ever have that? So yeah, still get anxiety sometimes. But using those serpentine crystals will really help to calm that. Okay, I'm just shaking up the energy a little bit here. And we're going to go ahead and I am going to get you to, let's just put your mirror down. Put your mirrors down for a second. Rub your hands together. Take in a good deep breath. And release it, and do that 2 more times. And once more, and you're pulling that energy into your hands. And then go ahead, and in this Gasho prayer position, you're going to just put it at your third eye, in the center of your forehead. Just let that connection happen between the energy that you just pulled into your hands. And you're activating your third eye right now. And that's really going to help you to see and project forward from your subconscious into the mirror. So just hold it there and breathe gently. We'll do that for a couple more breath cycles. And we're just calling our energy back in wherever it's been all day long. It's been all around work, kids, school, worries. Just bring that all back in. So we ask that all of our energy be brought back in and centered and grounded. And we ask the archangels to come in and clear and cleanse and renew our energy, revitalize it. Please heal any energetic leaks, holes, tears, and things that might be keeping us from feeling our best. Please repair those now. And let's bring our hands to our heart. You can keep them at the prayer position, or you can go ahead and open them and put them on your heart. Hi, Patricia and Dolinda. I'm so happy you're here. And just keep breathing gently but deeply and connect to your heart. I think so often we go about our lives and our day, and we forget to take that time to just be very, very still and get in tune with the rhythm of our center, the center part of us. Now we're going to let our hands drop a little lower to our abdomen, our belly area, and activating those lower chakras as well, and that gut instinct. Because a lot of our inner vision comes from here as well, not just the third eye. So go ahead and activate those chakras and keep breathing in gently and deeply, pulling our energy right in, right at our center. Okay. And just kind of, I like to brush that off a little bit. All right. And we're going to get ourselves ready to actually scry. I'm going to read you this in your sacred scrolls if you have them. And if not, you can just listen. So I'll read it out loud. Part of the myth of Medusa is her power, the power of her gaze. It was thought that just one look could turn the unfortunate onlooker into stone. In Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, Perseus was able to defeat the fatal gaze of the Gorgon Medusa by using his shield as a mirror to reflect Medusa's gaze right back to her. Because we are not afraid of the power that females innately hold, we will fearlessly look right into our own eyes in this mirror meditation, and perhaps for the first time, truly see the greatness that is our divinely appointed potential. Scrying is an ancient form of divination in which you will soften your gaze and allow images to come forth from your mind and be projected onto a surface such as a mirror, fire, flame, pool of water, sky, etc. So to begin our scrying mirror meditation, we're going to take 3 deep cleansing breaths. If you already feel grounded, you don't need to do that part. If you feel like you want to just let your energy know we're about to go into this meditation, you're going to release all that's not in harmony with calm meditative thoughts each time you exhale. Okay? So if you've already anointed, you don't need to do that again. If you feel like you want to anoint again, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to. I like to just really get that third eye active. And breathe that in. And the Medusa oil is so beautiful. It's so grounding. You can really smell that earth energy in it. Okay. Now go ahead and we're going to bring our mirror up, and I'll put mine right here so that it doesn't distract you guys, but you shouldn't even be looking at me. You should be looking in your mirror. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have already saged our space here. But if you would like to dedicate your mirror as a sacred tool, you can go ahead and light a little bit of sage so you're clearing that energy, and then I will give you just a few seconds if you want to put your hands over your mirror and just basically say, it can be as simple as, I now consecrate this mirror to be used as my sacred scrying tool. So it is, okay? It can be as simple as that. But this isn't a mirror that you're going to be like using for decorations and stuff like that around your house. I mean, you can if you want, but this, you really should keep your tools, your magic tools, your energy tools, separate. Okay, these are our working tools. Do you need any sage or anything Do you want to sage that, or are you okay? You feel like it's good enough?
I can.
You'd like to sage? Here you go, goddess. Do that. And then you can even take, when you dedicate your mirror, you can even put a little bit of oil on your hand and rub it all around the perimeter of the mirror. And I like to make a clockwise motion as I'm putting in the energy of that and dedicating that. Okay. All right, now this next part, I want you to maybe pretend or remember what it's like when you're a little child and you are daydreaming or staring into a fire or whatever it takes for you to get into that daydreaming mode. Maybe you do that right before you go to sleep, but that point where you are looking at something, like right at something, but you don't even see it anymore because that's not what you're aware of or thinking of anymore. Okay, so does that make sense? So we're going to work on that as you look. Maybe don't look at yourself yet in the mirror. Find a spot like right on the perimeter of the mirror. Or if you don't want to look at your eyes yet, maybe look into the mirror, but look at like your chest or somewhere else. Don't make eye contact quite yet because that could be a little distracting. So go ahead and do that. And just you're going to keep breathing very gently and don't look away from that exact spot. And we're just going to take a few moments to let your eyes really get there. Okay, keep looking, keep breathing. Gently breathing. And soften your gaze. And you can just listen to my voice as you're gently breathing and gazing at that spot in the mirror, on the mirror. Our intention is going to be that we see a beautiful future version of ourselves. Now, this version has already overcome maybe a trial or an adversity or several that you may be facing right now. This version of yourself is confident, powerful, beautiful, handsome, knowledgeable. This version of yourself has already attained a specific, wonderful goal that you have had maybe all your life. Maybe it's a new goal, something that you desire. This version of yourself has done so much healing and so much work to pave the way and make it clear for you, this you right now, to get there quickly. This version of yourself has already mastered whatever it is that you are desiring. And so this version of yourself is able to show you in the easiest way, in the most simplest form, how to get there what steps that you will need to take next to get there. And so I'm going to read you the little spell, the meditation. I want you to go ahead and you can now make eye contact if you haven't been. And again, look into your eyes, no judgment. You will be seeing this higher version of yourself come forward. And she or he, they are incredibly successful, glorious, wonderful, confident, all those things that that you desire. And I want you to look into your eyes until the rest of your face really fades away. You're going to look into your eyes until kind of everything will also go a little white, a little foggy. And keep breathing gently. And listen to these words as we allow our subconscious to open up and bring forward images, pictures, thoughts, ideas, symbols, colors, numbers, to be projected onto the mirror so that we may understand them. Mirror, mirror in my hand, let me see what I command. Unfold now before my eyes the greatest me yet realized. Show me what I need to know and what steps she took to thrive and grow. All I ask, please now reveal, and so it is, this is my will, and so mote it be. And we're just going to take as much time as we need. We'll go ahead and look. And if you can fixate on that one spot, which ideally would be your eyes, and everything else falls away. You may see images, you may just get an idea or a thought, a number might come to you. Maybe a father, a mother, grandparents, a spirit guide, angels. But you see this greater version of yourself, this version that has shed the old skin, that has released what doesn't resonate or serve them anymore. And as soon as you see this version of you, you ask, what steps do I need to take next in order to quickly reach this version of myself? What are my next steps? And she, he, they will tell you. And the answers will come easily, quickly. And whatever comes to you, whatever words, symbols, images come to you, it is our intention that you understand those in every way. You completely understand them. So go ahead, and if you haven't already, you can close your eyes to break contact. And take another deep cleansing breath in and release. And if I want to release an energy, like if have been in an energy for a long time and I need to just kind of undo it, I will do a crisscross with my energy. So I'll go like right, left, right, and then I'll go with my left hand. And I learned this from my Reiki master years and years ago. So if you feel like you need to ground yourself and cut that energy, you can do that. Okay, so hopefully you were able to really take a deep dive and delve into that version of yourself that you are wanting to step into, and that you were able to see that version clearly, but also to receive instruction on how to get from point A to point B. If you saw symbols, well, regardless, even if you heard a phrase or a word, or if it was very clear to you, I would go ahead and write it all down tonight. Write it down, because even though you may think, oh, this was so profound, I'll never forget this, it's really easy to forget in the light of day. So write it down, and especially if you had something come to you, such as like numbers or letters or words or initials, colors, things like that. You'll want to make sure you write those down. And if they didn't make total sense to you right now, as the week unfolds before you and this next month unfolds, they will begin to make a lot of sense to you. So, okay. How are you feeling?
Okay.
Yeah. Were you able to see anything? Or too much pressure?
Too much pressure.
Too much pressure. So this is going to take practice. If you were not able to get a clear image right now tonight, I would suggest do this daily. I mean, you should be looking at yourself every day and making affirmations, saying, thank you for being healthy. Thank you for my eyesight. Thank you for my sense of smell and the ability to taste, and my heart that can love, and all those things. To start falling in love with yourself in those ways, with gratitude, and you will see real magic unfold in your life. I wanted to say one more thing too, and I wrote this down on Post-its like right before this even started, and I almost forgot, but I think it's really important that with the snake energy that we have been working with tonight, snakes, their skin is patterned, right? It's a repetitious pattern. And so the snake energy can show us different patterns in our lives that we might not really be aware of. Those things that you can look at other people and go, gosh, don't they know that they always do this? When we're being all judgy and stuff, and they don't know, like they're unaware of it. Well, we have that stuff too, believe it or not. All of us, we all have patterns that we may not be aware of, that maybe other people can see clearly. A snake can't see its own skin, doesn't know like its own patterns. So the snake energy is going to also help us to pull up these patterns so that we can look at them and release them and let them go. And when we are triggered, when we find ourselves like being deeply triggered by something, we have to remember that those triggers are just patterns. Okay. The triggers are the patterns that show up that allow us to see it. The trigger is the pattern itself. We can actually look at that pattern, like the snake that can't see its own skin until it's shedding it, and it can look at it like, oh, that's what I looked like, So we can see those triggers as patterns that we are finally able to look at so that we can shed them like the snake skin. Does that make sense? I thought that was just really an important thing. I've been working with that this whole month as well, seeing a lot of that within myself. So with the scrying, use your sacred mirror as a tool for scrying. This is an important, really beautiful thing and way that you can connect with deep parts of yourself. Do you have any thoughts on that? You good? Okay. Anyone else? You all good? Oh, my Shakti is here, my sister. Beautiful. Okay. We are going to go ahead and close up our circle. We're going to let all of the directions go and thank them for being here and being a part of this energy tonight. I know that Medusa, this archetype of Medusa, has been so transformative to me. Like, I literally do not feel like the same person as I did a month ago. And I know that, I don't know if you can all relate to this, but I will look at pictures of myself, like maybe right before going through something really big. Like, a big thing in my life was having a baby, right? My first baby, or the next big thing was getting a divorce. And like, I'll look at pictures, let's say with the divorce of right before then, and just like, I just was pretty clueless. I look back at those pictures and go, wow, I thought I knew so much, but this poor little soul knew nothing. And I think I'm not even this same person at all. And it's interesting because just in this short little while, working more one-on-one with Medusa this last whole month, my goodness, like, not even the same person. So may Medusa bless you in all areas of your life. And if you're uncomfortable with that idea of Medusa, at least knowing that the snake energy, may that bless you, transform you, heal you, and empower you to move forward in whatever aspect you want in your life, and to get more in touch with who you are, your higher self, so that you can understand, know without a doubt why you are here. Why are you on this earth? What is your point and your purpose and your drive? So, with that said, we're going to wrap it up, and go ahead and just close your eyes and have a lot of thanks in your energy and in your heart, as we release these guides and guardians. Okay. Okay. So good. And Shakti, this was actually a gift from my dear friend Shakti. She's, you can see her on the feed as Luxinus, is her company. But she gave this to me years and years ago, and I love it. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and let's close our eyes with the spirit of gratitude. We call upon the angels, spirit guides, guardians of the highest realms of light, and to the goddess and God and the energy of Medusa. Thank you for being here tonight and for being a part of this sacred ceremony. We release you now, and so it is. And we call to the direction of spirit and the energy of ether. We thank you for being a part of this ceremony tonight. We release you now with gratitude, and so it is. And to the direction of the north. We thank you for being a part of this sacred ceremony tonight in this ritual, lending your magic, your healing, your foundation. We thank you, and with deep vows and gratitude, we release you, and so it is. And we call to the direction of west. We thank you for being a part of this ceremony tonight, this ritual, for lending your magic and your healing. With deep vows and gratitude, we release you, and so it is. And we turn to the direction of the south and this energy of snake that we've been working with tonight with so much humility and so much gratitude for all that we've been able to shed and to release and to actually bring in with this new skin. And we thank you for your medicine, and we ask that it will continue to flourish and to grow and to unfold before us as we walk forward this next month and next several months in our lives, stepping into this new, greater version of ourselves. We thank you for your magic and for your energy and your understanding. And with deep bows and gratitude, we release you now, and so it is. And finally, we turn to the east and that direction of the east and the element of air. And we again bow with deep gratitude and thanks for all of your magic and for that beautiful etheric spirit that we feel enveloped and wrapped in every time we come here in our ritual. And for the inspiration and the ability to see with our third eye and to scry and get in touch with those ancient divine feminine arts such as divination. And we, again, with deep bows and deep gratitude, we send you our appreciation as we release you from this ceremony in this circle. And so it is. And then once again, we're going to see that dome of light that's surrounding us, and we are going to go ahead and unwind that. So you're going to see that unwinding counterclockwise and bringing that all the way down, 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 unwinding like a corkscrew deep into the earth. So our intentions and this beautiful magic and this beautiful energy, we are releasing it deep down into Mother Earth and letting her take it and nurture it and grow it, so that any of the intentions that we had set, any of the healing that we've asked for, anything we have wanted to see unfold in our lives will take deep root and will be able to grow up and thrive and flourish in these next weeks, months, and seasons to come. And so see that being very deep into the earth, grounded. And with that, our circle is open. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Rachel, for holding this space with me. And sending my love to all of you. Thank you, everyone who was here live and anyone who will be watching later. All my love to you. This transformation is not an easy feat. So just by you being here and willing to show up and do something different in your daily life is just, it's enough. It's more than enough. And may Spirit and the Goddess and these beautiful ancient archetypes that we've been studying, may they bless you immeasurably in your life as you move forward in these next few days, weeks, months, seasons, years. Blessed be everyone. Have a gorgeous, wonderful full moon.